What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into bracketology again. Um, this was yesterday, but I couldn't be able to do it yesterday, so we're just going to consider it today's version. Um, Big day in college basketball. We got Baylor, Kansas, I think Kentucky, Auburn. We got a lot of good games, so it should be interesting to see what happens. But anyway, let's see the movement. That's going to start out with this bracket watch. Top overall seed is going to be Auburn. First team out, Florida. Then the last team in, Oregon. The Fighting Ducks have just fought their way back into the tournament. And then we look at this on the bubble. Last four buys, Loyola Chicago, San Francisco, Seton Hall, and BYU. My Cougars have lost 3 straight games. So definitely not going too well there. But last four in, Wyoming, Creighton, San Diego State, and Oregon. Then we got the first four out. We got Florida, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, and West Virginia. And then SMU, UAB, Florida State, and Chattanooga as that next four out team. That's pretty darn impressive. I believe they're in here somewhere, aren't they? I don't see them, but I guess they might have gotten out, but that's a good team right there that I think could do some damage this tournament. Anyway, guys, let's get into this bracket. That's going to start out with this Midwest. Auburn, obviously the 1 seed, with St. Mary's jumping up to an 8 seed. Xavier jumping up to a 5. We got North Texas jumping up to a 12 seed. And Illinois jumping up to a 4. Kansas drops down to 3. San Francisco, who beat my Cougars on Thursday, jumps up to a 10. And then Cal State Fullerton, new to the field, at 15. And then UCLA at that 2 seed. In the West, we got Gonzaga at that 1 seed. Miami's going to be dropping down to a 9, as well as Villanova dropping down to a 5. We got Wisconsin dropping down to a 4, and then we got Tennessee dropping down to a 6. Wyoming goes to the 11. Texas Tech jumps up to a 3, and then Arizona jumps up to that 2 seed after I had them losing to Weber State last time. And then over here, we got Baylor at that 1 seed, and then Appalachian State dropping down to a 16. Arkansas jumping up to an 8. Murray State jumping up to a 9. Watch out for that Murray State team. They're a good team. San Diego State dropping down to a 12 as Oregon, new to the field there. Marquette jumps up to a 4. BYU, my Cougars, drops down to 11. North Carolina jumps up to a 10. And then in this East, we got Wake Forest dropping down to a 9. Furman, new to the field at 13. Seton Hall drops down to an 11. And Houston drops down to a 3, as well as Duke right there. And I don't know if I mentioned this with Kentucky as well over there. So anyway, let's get into this bracket. That's going to start out with this first 4 games. And starting this out, I'm going to have Oregon beating San Diego State. I like Oregon a little bit more, but that's a good game right there. I like New Orleans to beat Southern. Creighton, I like over Wyoming, and UNC Wilmington, I like to beat Norfolk State. So let's get into this bracket now. That's going to start out with Auburn against New Orleans. Obviously, we'll go Auburn. St. Mary's, I think, will beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma just lost to Oklahoma State today, so that was a big loss. But yeah, Xavier gets North Texas. This is a good game here. I like the Fighting Green? North Texas last year pulled off an upset against Purdue. I put this team to go to the Sweet 16 as a 13 last bracketology, and I'm going to do it again. I don't really like Xavier that much. I know they beat Marquette, but I'm just not the biggest fan of them, so I'm going to go that 12 seed North Texas to advance. But I do think Illinois will be able to beat Drake. LSU against Davidson. I do like LSU in that matchup, as well as Kansas over Jacksonville State. Kansas on the fall, though, right there. Something to look out for. San Francisco, I like a little bit more than Indiana. And UCLA, I like to beat Cal State Fullerton. All right, moving on down here. We got Purdue against UNC Wilmington. I'll go Purdue. TCU against Wake Forest. I'll go TCU. And then Alabama gets Toledo. I look at Alabama, and this team's just too good and consistent. They'll be able to beat anyone. They're contenders, but they can lose to anybody, and Toledo's a good 12 seed. So I'm going to go with my second 12 seed upset there with Toledo pulling off that 12/5 upset. I just like them more. And then Providence, I do think, beats Furman, though. Texas against Seton Hall. I'll go the 11/6 upset. I like Seton Hall just a little bit more than Texas. Not the biggest Texas guy. But yeah, Seton Hall, I think, wins. And then Houston, I think, beats Wagner. Loyola Chicago, I think, pulls off the 10/7 upset over USC. And then Duke, I think, beats Princeton. All right, let's move on over to this region. I like Gonzaga over Colgate. Boise State, I think, will be able to beat Miami. Villanova, who's on the drop, but I do like them to beat Iona, as well as Wisconsin over Vermont. Creighton against Tennessee. I like Creighton a lot. I don't know. There's just something about this Creighton team that just makes them good. I like them over a Tennessee team who's just kind of inconsistent as over the years. So I like Creighton in that game for another upset pick. Texas, I do think, beats Oakland. Iowa, I think, pulls off the 7/10 win there over Colorado State. And Arizona, I think, beats Seattle. Then over here, we got Baylor, I think, pulls off the win over Application State. Tough one, though. Arkansas is a good team, but I like Murray State more. Ohio State against Oregon. I could see the upset happening there, but I do like Ohio State. Marquette, I do think, beats South Dakota State, so no 13 upsets today. Uconn, I do like over my Cougars. Cougars struggling. Man, I want to go with that, but they're struggling. I mean, I don't really like Uconn that much. So I do like Michigan State, though, in that game to beat Weber State easily after I put Weber State in the Sweet 16 last round. North Carolina, Iowa State, I think, could beat North Carolina. And then Kentucky, I think, beats Longwood. All right, for a spot in the Sweet 16, Auburn against St. Mary's. I do like Auburn in that game. I don't think the Illinois will lose to North Texas there. I do like Illinois more. And then Kansas against LSU. I think Kansas wins that one. UCLA, I think, pulls up that win over San Francisco. So chalk there. Over here, I like Purdue to beat TCU. And then Toledo against Providence. I do like Providence more in that game. Houston against Seton Hall. I'm not the biggest Houston guy. I don't think the Seton Hall team pulls off that upset, though. And then Duke, I like over Loyola Chicago. And then over here, so more chalk. Gonzaga, I do think, beats Boise State as well as Wisconsin over Villanova. Texas Tech, I like over Creighton, and then as well as Arizona over Iowa. I mean, there's just these three regions. I just cannot see these upsets happening in my eyes. So this is why we're just going chalk. We'll see if we could pull off some upset here. And actually, we're going to go with it. Looking at this, I'm not the biggest Baylor guy. I know they just won the national championship, but they lost some players. Murray State, I think Baylor's kind of a little bit overrated right now. And Murray State's a very underrated team. I'm going to go with the 9/8 upset, basically the first upset of the round of 32. I do like that Murray State team a lot. As well as a team I like a lot, Marquette, I think, moves on past Ohio State. Michigan State, I think, will be able to take care of business against Uconn. And Kentucky, I think, beats Iowa State. No way, man. So one upset in this whole thing. We took down a 1 seed, though. All right, moving on. We got Auburn. I think we'll be able to pull off the win over Illinois. That is a good Illinois team that I could see winning that one, though. And then UCLA against Kansas. I do like UCLA a little bit more now that Kansas is struggling. So we got the 1-2 there. Purdue against Providence. I'm going to go with the 4-seed upset here. I like Purdue a lot, but Providence is kind of my hidden gem team that I think can make an Elite 8, maybe even a Sweet 16 Elite 8 run. They're a good team right there, and I think they can pull off an upset for the second 1 seed to fall. Meanwhile, no 2 seed has fallen, and I don't think it'll happen there. Duke, I think, beats Houston. And then Gonzaga against Wisconsin. I like Gonzaga in that game. And then Arizona against Texas Tech. I do like the 3 seed pulling off that upset of the 2 seed. Not the biggest Arizona fan. And Texas Tech, they're a good team. And that'll be a good matchup there if we can get that. Gonzaga, Texas Tech, that's a good matchup. But yeah. And then over here, Murray State against Marquette. Good matchup. I do like Marquette, though. And then Kentucky against Michigan State. I like this 3-seed win here. Kentucky, I think, gets eliminated. I like this Michigan State team a lot. And that's going to be a very good matchup. That game could go either way, though. But I do like Michigan State a little bit more. Then for a spot in the Final Four, Auburn, UCLA. I do think Auburn wins that game. And then Providence against Duke. Tough one. I'm gonna go with the. I just can't do it. Duke is just too good. I really want to do it though. Just can't. Gonzaga against Texas Tech. I do like the Zags in that one. And then Marquette against Michigan State. I like Michigan State to beat Marquette there. So now for a spot in the national championship game, we got Auburn, we got Duke. I do like Auburn more in that one though. And then Gonzaga against Michigan State. Let's switch things up. I think these teams are very good, but I do like Michigan State a lot. And this is a team that I think Gonzaga is a good team, but I don't think this may not be their year to win the national championship. Then Michigan State, Auburn. I'm gonna go Michigan State for the national championship win. That's a good matchup for those. That's a good Final Four for Michigan State, and I think that they can pull off some upsets as a 3 seed and win the whole thing. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hope you all enjoyed the content. Michigan State, you're a national champion. Comment down below your Final Four or your whole bracket, whatever you want to do. But anyway, peace.